It was the late innings, and the Expos were threatening by playing small ball. The Phillies were only up by 1 run, so in the 8th inning, when Tommy Greene walked the leadoff batter, pinch hitter Eric Bullock, on 4 pitches, Delino DeShields responded by laying down a perfect sacrifice bunt. Now, the tying run, Bullock, was in scoring position with just 1 away. The walk to Bullock was the 7th that Tommy Greene had handed out to Montreal that day, and while he had struck out many, he didn't have stellar control. Even before the 8th inning came, Tommy Greene had thrown 111 pitches, 23 in the first inning alone. And in that first inning, it took 7 pitches to get Delino DeShields to ground out after he had worked a full count. Meanwhile, the Phillies had only scored 1 run, and that was in the first inning. So in the bottom of the 8th, with the tying run on second with only 1 out, it hardly seemed noticeable that the Expos had not managed to get a base hit. Welcome to Philadelphia Baseball History. Don't forget to check out our merchandise. T-shirts, phone cases, masks, notebooks, mugs, and much more. Just go to tpublic.com and look for Philadelphia Baseball History. Tommy Greene joined the Phillies on August 9, 1990. He was the player to be named later when the Phillies worked out a trade with the Atlanta Braves on August 3, 1990 to acquire the popular slugger Dale Murphy. At the time, it was after the trade deadline, and Dale Murphy would have to clear wires before the trade could take place. The Phillies gave Atlanta Jeff Parrott and 2 players to be named later. On August 9th, the Phillies sent the Braves outfielder Jim Thatcher, and on September 4th, they sent second baseman Victor Rosario. At age 34, Murphy's average had dipped in the previous 2 seasons. He was batting a mere .232 when he was traded to the Phillies. But he was a former 2-time National League MVP with 7 All-Star appearances, 5 Gold Gloves, and 4 Silver Sluggers to his name. When the Phillies acquired him, Dale Murphy was less than 30 home runs shy of hitting .400 for his career. It is a number that, sadly, Dale Murphy never reached. When Murphy retired from the Colorado Rockies in 1993, his career home run total was 398. He had only played in 26 games for the Rockies in 1993. Murphy's departure from Atlanta signaled a break from 6 years of futility, where the Braves finished either 5th or 6th in the National League West. The running joke at the time was that if you called the Braves ticket office and asked, "When did the game begin?" you would get a reply, "Well, when can you get here?" That was a joke the Braves announcers would say on television. 1991 was the first of a 16-year run where the Braves would win their division in all but 1 year. In May of 1991, Tommy Greene was mostly coming out of the bullpen. The Phillies would use him as an emergency starter, and on May 23rd, that became necessary when Danny Cox was injured.
Tommy Greene getting his second start, Andy, and Tommy Greene is kind of on the borderline of maybe, if he does well, working his way into the rotation.
Well, I think there's a chance for that right now, Harry, because Danny Cox is going to miss a couple of starts. He's missing 1 today.
The Phils, well, they were frustrated with the young homegrown talent that they were trying out in the rotation, such as 24-year-old Pat Combs and 23-year-old Jason Grimsley, who held the major league record for the most starts in a row where he threw a wild pitch. So on May 23, 1991, when the Phillies played a rare afternoon game in Montreal, Tommy Greene was auditioning for a spot in the starting rotation. Grimsley would be traded to Houston in 1991, as the Astros were also frustrated with one of their young prospects, and the Phillies acquired from Houston a young Curt Schilling. But back to May 23, 1991, the Phillies started out that day with the same record as the Montreal Expos, 19 wins to 21 losses. They were 5 games behind Pittsburgh, who were in first place in the National League East. Greene was 2-0 for the season. He was coming off a 1-0 win on May 17th against the Chicago Cubs. Greene had come in the middle of the 13th inning. He pitched 4 stellar innings and wound up winning the game in the 16th. Shortstop Dickie Thon drove in Dale Murphy for the walk-off run. He faced Dennis Oil Can Boyd, who had just joined the Expos the year before as a free agent after spending 8 seasons with the Boston Red Sox. This was the last of a 3-game series in Montreal, which so far the two teams had split. The Phillies' offense wasted no time, drawing blood in the first inning. With 2 outs, John Kruk came to the plate. He started things off with a double. And then advanced to third on a wild pitch. First baseman Ricky Jordan then hit a long line drive right down the left field line. The ball went deep into the left field corner at Olympic Stadium, scoring John Kruk. Jordan slid into third base and was called safe. He had hit a triple. Although on replay, it appears as though Jordan may have been out.
Might have been out.
Might have been out. Really close. Really close. I think he was out.
I believe he was too.
Now.
Nonetheless, with the score 1-0, Tommy Greene went to work in the bottom of the first inning. In what would seem to set the tone for the day, Delino DeShields led off with a 7-pitch at bat. After fouling off a pitch and working a full count, DeShields grounded out. Marquise Grissom then struck out swinging after 3 pitches. But after Ivan Calderon drew a walk and a 5-pitch at bat, he stole second, putting himself in scoring position.
Too much to ask of the catcher to throw a runner out on a jump like that. Beat the ball down there. Throw was good.
The big cat, Andres Galarraga, then strode to the plate. On the 8th pitch of his at-bat and the 23rd of the inning, Galarraga struck out swinging. Tommy Greene had worked his way out of trouble in the first inning. Over the next few innings, the Phillies would get hits, but then their anemic offense would strand runners on base. Right fielder John Morris would get a single in the second inning, only to be followed by a Tommy Greene pop fly. In the third, Rod Booker got a single, he was followed by a Ricky Jordan single. but both were left stranded when Von Hayes grounded out. Meanwhile, in the bottom of the second inning, after striking out Larry Walker,
is called out on strikes, the third strikeout for Tommy Greene.
Tommy Greene walked Tim Wallach,
Walked him. Second walk given up by Tommy Greene.
and then Ron Hasse.
Walked him on 4 pitches.
The second out was recorded on a fielder's choice. Before Oil Can Boyd grounded out to end the inning.
Shut up and sit down.
The bottom of the third was Tommy Greene's first 1-2-3 inning. The middle innings were the peak of Tommy Greene's control. He went on to have a second 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the fourth, and then a third in the bottom of the fifth. And while the Phillies threatened in the top of the fifth inning with a Wally Backman single, followed by a stolen base,
A good pitch to run on. Backman did slip a little bit getting out of the gate, but good pitch to run on because it was an off-speed pitch.
and a John Kruk walk,
Walked him. John takes the walk. 2 on with 2 out in the Phillies' fifth.
once again, they failed to score any more runs. But by the sixth inning, Greene's control grew erratic. Tommy Greene began the bottom of the sixth inning by walking Delino DeShields. He tried to keep DeShields' speed in check by throwing over the first. But then, DeShields stole second. Marquise Grissom gave Tommy Greene a gift by striking out swinging. And then DeShields pushed things a little too far by getting thrown out trying to steal third base. Greene responded by giving the second walk of the inning, this time to Ivan Calderon on 7 pitches. But he was saved from any damages when the Big Cat struck out swinging on 3 pitches on a high fastball.
Strikeout number 7, and the fans are getting down on the Expos.
The sixth inning was a 20-pitch inning for Greene. He had thrown 92 pitches in the game so far. In the bottom of the seventh inning, it took Greene 5 pitches to strike out Larry Walker. Only to walk Tim Wallach in 7 pitches. This was followed by a fly ball by Ron Hasse and a strikeout by Spike Owen, again saving Greene from giving up any runs. At times, Greene was pitching well and striking out batters, but at the same time, he was erratic and also walking batters. Meanwhile, the Phillies' offense continued to be anemic, giving Greene a very small margin for error, which is why, even after 7 innings, the game just didn't feel like a no-hitter. In fact, as alluded to in the beginning of this video, The 8th inning was particularly troubling for Greene. Manager Jim Fregosi, well, he was getting nervous, and he got the wild thing, Mitch Williams, to warm up in the bullpen. Now, as we last left off, Eric Bullock stood at second base with 1 out after a Delino DeShields sacrifice bunt. No hitter or not, this was the best scoring opportunity that the Expos had had all game. The tying run was at second with 1 out, but with the count 1 ball and no strikes, Mark Grissom flew out to left fielder John Kruk. And then, on the very next pitch, Ivan Calderon ended the inning, lining out to Ricky Jordan. Now, in the top of the 9th inning, with the Expos bringing Scott Ruskin in for relief, the Phillies did give Tommy Greene a little more breathing room. Ron Hayes opened the inning with a double. He came home when Darren Fletcher knocked him in with a double of his own. This sparked another pitching change for the Expos. And with Barry Jones now on the mound, Dickie Thon moved Fletcher over with a fly ball to right field. Jones then intentionally walked right fielder John Morris, only to pick him off 1 pitch later. And then Tommy Greene failed to give himself that second insurance run when he grounded out to end the inning. And somehow, after 7 walks and 121 pitches, Tommy Greene was on the verge of completing a no-hitter. Now, in Montreal's short history, it had already been no-hit twice. The first came in 1976, when Larry Dierker of the Houston Astros did it in Houston. The second happened in 1983, when Bob Forsch completed his second no-hitter in St. Louis. But so far, the Expos had not been no-hit before their hometown crowd in Montreal. So in the bottom of the 9th inning, Tommy Greene got to work. First, he got Andres Galarraga to strike out swinging for the 3rd time. Then, with a 2-2 count, Larry Walker grounded out to Rod Booker. This brought Tim Wallach to the plate, and Wallach swung at the first pitch. It was a weak ground ball straight to Tommy Greene. Greene fielded it himself. Tommy Greene had thrown the second Phillies no-hitter in less than a year. And let's listen to the late, great Harry Kalas call it.
Phillies dugout, all eyes are on Tommy Greene. 2 outs, no base runners, 9th inning. Greene working on a no-hit, no-run game. Tim Wallach is 0 for 1, has walked line to right and walked. Hard ground ball, great grab, Greene. It's over. He's pitched a no-hit, no-run game, making the final out himself. Tommy Greene, a no-hitter.
Now the Phillies, they went on to finish 3rd place in 1991, 6 games below 500. Tommy Greene finished the season with 13 wins to 7 losses. He had a respectable ERA of 3.38, but he would battle injuries in later seasons. Now his best season was 1993, when he went 16 wins and 4 losses. He had an ERA of 3.42, and he received some votes for the National League Cy Young Award. Tommy Greene was the starter for the infamous Game 4 of the 1993 World Series, a game which, at the time, was the highest scoring game in World Series history. And it was also the game where the Phillies fell behind 3-1 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Now join us next week when we continue to explore great pitching performances in Phillies history when we look at a time when Roy Halladay was perfect. In the meantime, why not check out this video of Steve Carlton and his catchers? And if you would like to support us, hit the like and subscribe button. Also, check out the description box below for a link to our merch store and instructions on how you can become a patron through Patreon. And as always, thank you for watching.